Hey, can you hear me?
Hello. Yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. First of all, thanks for booking a session. I know I've seen you in a couple of streams and everything lately, but what are you wanting to work on today?
Honestly, I just want to take my bandages to the next level because I can't really like get past certain things. Like I've been trying to learn the Breagle Blaster stuff, but that's been a bit of a snag for me. And also just like so I want to eliminate as many like habits as I can.
Okay. Yeah, we can definitely do that. And I don't know if you've seen previous coaching sessions, but I always say is the Brigo Blaster stuff. I can show you like situations when to use it, when not to use it, and stuff. But that stuff will be actually getting the timings, and everything down. Will be training mode, and just repetition. So I'm happy to go over that with you and everything. But just go for as far as mastering it. The video I have put out, the Ultimate Brigo Blaster Guide. Have you watched it?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. So just 30 minutes a day following that video, working on that is just really what I can recommend for just getting the ladders down, the confirms down, those kind of things. But I can definitely show you when to use it, when not to use it, how to use it, those kind of things, of course. But just that will be muscle memory of actually learning how. So So let's go ahead. What we'll do here, we'll go ahead and let's play. Let me switch this. Normally I have the 7 stock 10 minutes, but I'll switch it just to a regular 3 stock 7 minutes. So what we'll do is we'll play 3 games here. I'll kind of look for habits and things, make some notes here. Whenever I pause is when I will, I'll just be writing notes. So,
All right.
also, just while we're playing these 3 games, because I am going to be looking for habits, I'm going to switch characters. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's all good.
Perfect. Yeah, just because a lot of times the Banjo Ditto can be kind of weird, and so being able to just make notes here is going to be really important. So. And at any time, if you have questions, you want me to explain anything, or need help with anything, of course, this is your time. Stop me whenever. So.
All right.
Oh, unfortunate. Oh, unfortunate. Oh, I gotta hold that shield.
Yeah.
Good Wonder Wing.
Thank you.
Ooh, good drag down.
I don't think that's true.
It's not. Drag downs, Banjo's drag downs are never true. The internet has lied to you. Yeah. All right, let me just make a couple of notes here.
I live to fight again.
All right, keep going.
We going again? Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll play 3 games total.
All right. Okay. Got you.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep, that should be a kill.
Yeah.
I live to fight again.
Okay, we'll do one more.
stage selection?
Say again?
Is it on a random? Like,
Yeah, it's
the random stage selection.
yeah, it's random legal. Random legal.
3, 2, 1, go!
Good call out. There we go. Cool. So I got a couple of notes here that we can kind of go over now. Now I am going to switch over to the 10-minute 7-stock kind of rule set, and we'll switch over to Banjo. So the biggest thing, like blaring issue, can't speak too early, is you are jumping way too much. Banjo's airspeed, one of the worst in the game. Banjo's ground speed, one of the best in the game. And Banjo has some fantastic tilts. He has some DLC tilts with his forward tilt, his down tilt, and his up tilt.
Yeah.
So you're doing the you are a decent Banjo. So when I say this is not a knock towards you, but you're doing the scrub Banjo option that they do. Okay.
Yeah.
So what that is they burn all of their jumps, throw out a grenade, and then land with an aerial. And this is such a that's why I call it the scrub option. So what they do is they'll go like this, and they'll hover in place. They'll hover in place like this, and then they'll go like this, and then they'll land with an option. And
Okay.
and they do it like DDD players do it, because for DDD players it works a little better, because DDDs have their back air, their huge disjoint, they can land with nair, They can do Gordo. They can do stuff like that's part of the character's kit. Banjo's jumps are so shallow and so obvious that by the time like you're doing this as Marth, I can just double jump up and up air you, right? And so it's just like, this is such a bad option because it's so predictable. And it's like, you should abuse Banjo's multiple jumps, because like what I'll do, so come to center stage and sit and shield. It's like what I'll do is I will run up and I'll go like this, double jump, triple jump, and then I'll throw out my aerial. So I'm using it to mix up my timings, but I'm not using it as trying to be like up here, you know? Like it's more of like a, okay, when am I gonna do it? Am I gonna do it off this single hop? Am I gonna do it off the double hop? That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So you are just you're just jumping around so much that it makes it so easy for me to contest you against certain characters. I've been working on this myself. Against certain characters like Wolf, Mario, jumping is never even worth it. Like approaching with a jump is never worth it because they have priority in their nair, their forward air, their back air, all those different options. You literally jumping at them will never work just because they have faster air acceleration. They can stuff you out, right? So that's a huge thing, and that plays into, there's 3 other points here. So burning jumps, and then grenade, staying grounded, and then lots of unsafe approaches. So what I mean by unsafe, how much do you know about frame data, safe, unsafe moves?
I'm pretty okay in that regard. Like I know that his forward air is not really safe unless you space it correctly by like drifting backwards, or like I feel like isn't his forward tilt that's decently safe on the ground, and like much else isn't really that safe.
So his forward air is -6, so it's relatively safe. So even if like it's not perfectly spaced, you still have time to spot dodge after or roll away, that kind of stuff, you know. Forward tilt, when it's spaced perfectly, like yeah, it is a decent move. Down tilt lingers forever and goes super far, and then also it holds shield. Obviously it also crosses up, which is nice. So safe in its own regard. You have nair, which you can mix up the timings of it, so like you can get all the hits, or you can get like 2 hits, or you can get 1 hit. Like you can mix it up. So there's lots of different options there. Lots of times what you would do is you would just run at me, dash attack, or it's just like you'd put out a grenade right here and then you jump over like this, and really that's not that safe because you're putting out the grenade and then you're approaching from the air again, and then you can just get punished. And so really, like if you're gonna put out a grenade right here, this is your wall. That's your zone of saying, okay, I'm putting up a wall forcing you to come to me, and then you can stuff out that aerial approach, you can stuff out that roll in, you can do that. Against Bowser, for example, like you should never be approaching Bowser ever, because it's Bowser. Literally all I do against that character is ground a grenade, and then I just anti-air, make him come to me, anti-air. Oh, he's gonna start going on the ground, grenade high and low options, you know. And so it's just like when you're putting that up, that's your wall. That's not like really an approach option per se. And so it's just like if you're gonna do that, that's your wall that you're putting up. If you want to use projectile to approach, using eggs like this, forcing a shield, that's great. You can kind of use it as a worse Pikachu Thunder Jolt, you know, neutral B. And so make sure too, like when you're shooting it, like I noticed when you shoot it in place, or you just jump like this, get some movement in there. Makes it safer, and also makes it easier to approach, you know?
Yeah.
So those are like some really big ones. So staying grounded, don't jump as much for approaches, be safe in your approaches. So like against a lot of characters, like when I say be safe in your approaches, like you're gonna want to run up forward tilt, run up down tilt. You can run up forward air, this kind of stuff. You can mix up your timings, and you can go for a grab. One thing I love doing, if they like to sit and shield and spot dodge, I like to run at them, dash out, and then pick an option. So dash in, dash out, dash attack. Dash in, dash out, F smash. Dash in, dash out, Wonder Wing, you know? Just like whatever they're doing. And so it's like, Banjo has that acceleration, and that, not acceleration. Acceleration's not great, but his run speed is so fast that so many characters can't even catch him. And so using that to his advantage in every time, like every moment, like if you're pushing your opponent into disadvantage, like come over here where I am, like if I do that, that should immediately be running to it. It shouldn't be jumping over like this. It shouldn't be pulling out a projectile. It should be you beam it for that person, because you have that run speed to get to them and continue your advantage. And so it's like against a lot of characters, like say like Mario, for example, Mario back air is right here, and then by the time he gets over there, like they're already like reset up, you know. But Banjo has that to get all the way over there and keep pushing that advantage. So playing grounded is really, really important, because it's going to avoid you dying to a lot of things. It's going to avoid you getting punished for choosing options, you know?
Yeah.
So huge. The last one that really stuck out to me is using grenade as a resource instead of an item. So what that kind of means is similar to your jumps, like each jump is a resource that you have. Every time you burn one of those, you burn a precious resource, and you don't have access to it again, right? So grenade is the same way. By doing this kind of makes it like, obviously it's not going to explode when you run into it, but it'll explode when your opponent runs into it. But say like your opponent does this, okay, they just dash attack and pick it up. Or like as Marth, I would just pick it up with an aerial, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's just like, when you put it out like this, that's just an item on the stage. It's a item with the temperament, and so then your opponent can either just pick it up, shield it, whatever, you know. So it's just kind of like you're putting it out as an obstacle. And certain situations, yeah, that's great. So it's just like when you're ledge trapping, like yeah, you're putting it there, forcing them to pick an option, you know. Or you're doing it as a cover high, go low, or vice versa, you know. So yeah, that makes sense. But in neutral, as you're using it, you want that to be like a resource to you. You don't want it to just be purely I put out grenade because I have grenade. You're putting out grenade because you want to, oh my gosh, my jump's not coming out. You want it to be something that's threatening. Because a lot of times too, like what I will just do, oh my gosh, sorry, my jump is not coming out, is I'll just run up, throw it straight down, and that if they're running at me, I'm starting to condition them to shield. So they're gonna start shielding. Okay, cool. Then I can start punishing that. So really just, say again?
Like you could just, you know, as soon as they start shielding, just like get more grabs and then that
Yeah.
the kills.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And so it's just like, you wanna make sure you are using that as much of a resource as you can. And like I said, there's times where, yeah, you should be using it as just an item on stage, but this, like, it is such a strong projectile in the way it's thrown and comboed. Like, it combos well into things. Like, you can think of it as Young Link fire arrows. Like, those moves are meant to be hit and comboed into. And so making sure that you're actually using that to the best of its ability, because it's just like, go ahead and SD for me. At low percents, like grenade is so good at just like starting stuff. Like, because you use that as a resource, that's a 42% combo instead of 25, you know? And so like that's why it's just so important that you're really using it as a key resource to your kit. I've coached a Diddy player before too, and we've gone over this, that banana is a resource. You don't want it just as an item, because as soon as your opponent grabs that, then that's their resource and you're without one of yours, you know?
Yeah.
So that's a really big one. So just kind of reviewing all these things: stay grounded, approach safely, use grenade as a resource. Those are the three biggest things that are gonna hold you back if you're not doing those things. Does that all make sense? Kind of threw a lot at you.
Yeah, no, that all makes sense. It's kind of like what I felt like I was doing wrong, but I couldn't really put it into words.
Gotcha. Yeah. So do you feel like that helps you like kind of identify those things?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Like the grenade thing, that was like I knew I wasn't using it to its fullest potential, because like watching people play Banjo, I could see like, you know, that it was used as an item a lot, but I couldn't really, I don't know, I can't really explain. It just felt awkward to me.
Right.
But now that like, because you were like showing me, you could just like pop it out, you know, do a short hop into the Z grab and just chuck it, and it's like, there's a lot more uses for it than I thought.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And especially too, like when you, excuse me, when you are ledge trapping, you pull it out and you just Z-grab it and just drop it there at neutral get up, that forces them to pick an option. And so it's just like, you really want to use that resource as much as you can, you know?
Yeah.
And not just as a, okay, I'm throwing this out because I have it or things like that. Like, it literally is a key part of your kit. Especially too, like, the top Japanese banjo, he's really good at wave bouncing with it. And like, there's uses, but even just like doing that and picking it up, is...
Yeah, that's the stuff I used to see, but like, it's kind of... It feels inconsistent to get.
So...
It's like some reverse.
Yeah, so you can just do standard, you do the grenade, you drift back, and you press Z. And that's consistent. Yeah, so the biggest thing about this is just you have to wait till the grenade is in Banjo's hand, like near his hand. You see that? Like if you watch me do it, you have to wait till it's in your hand. Yeah. So like that's super good. If you're gonna do it on the ground, you just have to make sure you're at a good distance. Just because like you see when you put like Diddy players, when they pull banana, they will go like over here, make sure they have the distance, and then they pull it. It's this. Yeah. It's the same thing with grenade. You have to be pulling your grenade when you have like safety. Like if you're pulling it like right here, and you're right in front of your opponent. Okay, that's an easy, like they jump over it and they punish you super hard. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So really important to have the spacing for that, and that goes for all resources. Like that goes for Brigo Blaster as well. Just like making sure like you're not pulling it out like right here. Like that's such an easy punish. But like if you're gonna pull it out, you're gonna pull it out from a distance where you can start your stuff. So yeah, so that all makes sense where we're going with everything.
Yeah, I get it.
Cool. And so like Brigo, I noticed you trying to use Brigo Blaster sometimes. And I can go over some basic principles right now if you want me to. I feel like the other kind of habits that I kind of pointed out are pretty integral to like progressing. Yeah, but do you want me to go over just some basics of Brigo Blaster with you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So obviously number one, when you're pulling it out, you want to make sure you're jumping because this saves end lag, gives you a little bit of drift, and you're able to do the B reverse. Because I always B reverse it whenever I pull it out, just because then it gives me time to space properly and get moving how I need to. So pulling it out in the air is always a must. And that can just be regular, or that can be B reverse. That's just kind of dealer's choice kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
You can B reverse it off platforms, which I never do, but it is good. So yeah, pulling it out, always make sure you do it with a short hop because this is just so laggy, very easy to punish. Yeah. Especially like in a matchup like the Banjo Ditto, where it's like I see you do that animation, I just wonder when we can kill you, you know?
Yeah.
When to pull it out is against taller characters, against sorties, so good. It is so good.
Like Moth.
Yeah. The threat range of it obviously is horizontal, and so if you have someone that keeps jumping on top of you right over it, you need to think of counterplay. So the thing is with that is just make sure you're spacing properly, or you can jump and shoot them out of the air to threaten that, hey, you'll catch them. You can pull Blaster out and kind of just move around with it without shooting, just because then this gives that threat range of it's just like I have it at any time to hit you, but I'm not shooting because like this adds end lag, you know? Yeah. And so you want to just be able to say on a moment's notice, okay, I can put it away. So great times to use it. If your opponent keeps running at you, you can just B reverse right into them, start your combos. If they keep trying to land on you, you can just backflip back, or you can pull it out and just back up and then catch their landing. Or I see you doing the double shots, is you can bait them out to run at you, and then you can just flip right into them and start your combos. So yeah, just some basic really good uses for it. Also really good is if you're running at them and they have a rolling habit, same thing, just turn around. Or if they go into a platform, you can jump up with it and like face them. 9 times out of 10, they'll either get up attack or they'll roll behind. Same spiel. So those are kind of just the best times to use it, and just like the safest times. If you are approaching on their shield, so go ahead and hold shield. So right here, they can't really do anything right there. Like, they don't really have an option besides jumping out or trying to contest the eggs, and they won't. So it's like, if they're holding shield, great. That's a great place right there, because you can't be punished. If you want to apply a little bit more pressure, what you can do is come back and hold shield. You can jump away with it, because then they really can't punish that. And so if you want to get closer, force them to whiff an option, that kind of stuff. Trying to think of other good ones here. Oh, damage optimization. So you'll see things like, let me go ahead and just kill you really quick. You'll see people do things like they'll go, okay, I'm going to do up tilt, or like something really creative like that, right?
Yeah.
So for damage, you just want the maximum damage output that's consistent, right? So it's just like, that's a free 20 right there every time, instead of going for something that's not guaranteed. Like, cool, looks cool, that's great, but you don't want to be like relying on something that's not guaranteed. You want the guaranteed damage. So always just, if you get the ladder, just go for the guaranteed damage. Or like what I like to do as a mix-up, come like right where I'm standing, is I like to do up air, and then I'll put a grenade on the opposite side that I am to cover both sides, you know, just something like that. It's just, you always want the guaranteed damage. You'll have people trying to be fancy with it, but it's really just not worth it. Like, another one that I do is falling up air into nair, which just kind of has a different use of, it's going to put you farther off and kind of at more of a horizontal kind of disadvantage, while the ladder is putting you at a vertical disadvantage. So it just kind of depends on the need, you know?
Yeah.
So, does that all make sense? Those are kind of just like the basics of it. Just damage optimization, simple approaches. Don't pull it out right in front of your opponent, that kind of stuff. Does that all make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Any questions there?
The nair out of like the ladder, is that true with just a normal cancel, or do you have to do the fast cancel?
So in the air, you can't do fast cancels.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Is it just on platforms?
Yeah, it's just on the ground. You have to be grounded. So the way, like, you just have to cancel. You can cancel as soon as the egg leaves Kazooie's mouth. Like, you buffer that shield press as soon as the egg leaves, and then that'll put that away. And so the same in the air. At low percents, nair will be just tight, and like people can air dodge it, air dodge immediately. But at higher percents, it's always true. Up air, always true at all percents. And you can get call outs with back air and forward air. But really, like at lower percents, up air, mid to high percents in air. So, yeah. And it's just, okay. Yeah, that'll always be true. So, and once again, up air is more of a like, hey, I'm putting you above me kind of tool than like, oh, killing you. And so it's just like,
to put you in a bad spot.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, if you're wanting to just get your opponent in a bad spot, that's great. Like, that's what up air is for. It's not as a crazy tool. And so it's like, if you want to do that, great. That's awesome. So, yep.
That makes sense.
Yep. So like I said too, all this, like the approaches and everything, like I can show you that, but the actual like muscle memory and practicing it, that will be a training mode thing that you'll have to do.
Yeah, sure.
So, cool. So what we can do now, so we'll have the time right now because it'll take just as much time for us to SD. What we can do now, if it's okay with you, we can practice our grounded approaches now.
Yep.
Using tilts, jabs, grabs, all that kind of stuff. How does that sound?
Yeah, that's cool.
Awesome. And I think another important factor of grounded approaches is playing the rock, paper, scissors game really well. Meaning just like, what option is your opponent doing and how do you beat it? Like, for example, you kept dash attacking my shield a bunch, so you run up and you grab me. Or you run up and you forward tilt my shield, you know, that kind of thing. So, or if they keep running at you, then you use dash attack. Or if they keep trying to land, you use your tilts to push them out, you know?
Yeah.
So just really kind of a game of who's winning, like who's winning those interactions the most, and how do you need to adapt to make sure you're doing it properly, you know? So
Yeah, that makes sense.
alrighty, so we'll go back in here, and so really right now, I really just want you to focus on playing that crown game. Like, that's the biggest thing here. And as we do it, if you have questions, like I said, ask questions. And like, you can still jump, but I want you to really be thinking about what you're doing here.
Yeah.
I like that use of trying to make it a resource. Oh yeah, because you're air dodge.
Yeah.
And things that I like to do too is like, I'll approach and then I'll backflip away. Just kind of like, I'm feinting like I'm going to approach, but this is just forces them to pick an option, and then I can punish their option. So, you know.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that killed. That is shocking. Stay on the ground.
Yeah, I see the issue. I just like, it's hard to resist because I just do it like
Right,
without thinking.
and that's a habit you're gonna break. Yeah, I went too low. Nice.
I really thought I was gonna hit you.
Yep, well just remember, use it as a resource, not just an obstacle.
Ooh.
That's the other thing too, is like Banjo has such a strong up tilt. Like not as strong obviously as like Snake's, but it's still relatively strong. Like you can catch people jumping if you're grounded.
Yeah.
And so you can get lots of early kills that way. Get on the ground. That was misinput.
Ooh. I just saw held shield and panic.
Yep. Get on the ground. Nice.
Ooh,
Yeah. That was better. That was much better.
it was definitely hard to break that habit.
Oh yeah, it's super hard. But like I said, like I've learned it the hard way myself, just because like I've been really trying to work on the wolf matchup recently, and literally when I say it is not worth ever jumping to approach against that character, just because they have such a strong aerial game and aerial drift that you're gonna get stuffed out every single time.
Yeah, it's like the jumps make you feel like you're safe,
Oh yeah.
but like it's the worst option you could pick because
Yeah.
you know he's so fast on the ground.
100%. Did you play another character before Banjo?
I did. I used to play Pikachu, so it's
Yep.
a bit of a different like.
Funny enough, I actually played Pikachu before Banjo.
Oh damn! Really?
Yeah. But yeah, thing is, Pikachu is very good in the air, and so it's just like
Yeah,
it's like
where it comes from.
yeah, and so it's just like naturally like most Smash characters should be good in the air, right? It's a platform fighter, but it's just like that's where Banjo is different.
I was very inconsistent with Pikachu, which is why I ended up switching. Plus, I had more fun with Van doing the end.
Nice call out. I will say, one of the notes I did make is you do have good call outs at calling out your opponent. That is a very good thing that you do.
I think that might be from, like, I feel like Pikachu revolves a lot around, like, making call-outs to get thunder kills and stuff.
Right. Also, the other thing, part of being grounded, being on platforms, that's a way of being grounded as well. So, like, you can jump to platforms and do things off platforms. So, that does not count as being in the air. Obviously, like, if your opponent is under you, you're on a platform, that's a terrible place to be. However, like, that does count as being grounded, so.
He has a really, like, good wave dash on platforms.
Oh, he does. He is a very good wave dash. And thing is, once you start feeling comfortable, like, being more grounded, he also has a fantastic back air auto cancel. Do you know what auto cancels are?
Like, before you hit the ground? When
Yeah.
it,
Yeah, so it's just like, so this is your initial startup on your run, like you land, and that's your initial startup. Auto cancels make it so there's no landing lag. So you can just run back and forth without ever missing a beat. You see that? And that's super good because of his run speed. So you get out of that initial dash and everything. So,
yeah.
Anywho. Oh, just go for down throw at that percent. Get on the ground. Don't burn your resources. Nice.
I saw it coming.
Nice. Calling up my jump there. If I'm that close to the ledge, just forward throw me off the ledge. Like, me being off stage versus a 50-50, it's always going to be better to get me off stage, you know?
Yeah.
Nice. Good call out. Do you notice, like, obviously you were getting grabs before, but do you notice how many more you're getting now that you're actually just getting grounded?
Definitely. Because, like, a lot of my success, like, fighting people comes from grabs. Usually. But, like, if I'm in the air, I guess, I just don't have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, you lose a resource, right?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of this is resource management. That's the game. Like, you don't really think about it that way, because, like, it's not like Steve, you know, where it's just like, you got to be aware of iron, all that, but it's still resources that you have to manage properly.
I held the button. But, like, in that situation, I didn't think I was going to get a ladder.
Right.
It was just a threatened space.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Oh.
So that's not going to be true. Like, as soon as they catch on to that, you might get away with it once, but you gotta start doing, like, drag downs into jab, into grab, that kind of thing. Just because it's not true, it's not going to net you lots of kills.
Forward throw's bad there, like.
Yeah. You, even at lower percents, if I can get off the stage, get me off stage. Like, it's just rule of thumb.
I definitely see what I'm doing wrong now, though.
Good, good. That's what we like to hear. That's what I'm here to tell you, what bad things you're doing. As funny as that sounds, that's the point of a coach, is to show you areas where you can improve. And we're gonna work on them. Alrighty, yeah, so let's go ahead. I'm going to switch it back to the 3 stock, 7 minutes. We'll play one more regular game here. So do you feel like this has helped you? Do you feel like it's kind of like help point these out and help get you in the right direction?
Yeah, definitely. Like, as well as, like, explaining to me, like, the banjo side of things, it's also just on a fundamental level, like, I'm staying in the air too much.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, not taking advantage of what banjo is good at, right? He has that ground speed. He has the grenade, which you can use in, like, a multitude of ways.
Right. Yeah, 100%. Have you played any traditional fighters outside of Smash?
I play a bit of Street Fighter, but I'm not like Smash is the one I play the most. I'd say I
Right.
have about like 30 hours in Street Fighter maybe, so not too much.
So Street Fighter 6 is my first my first traditional fighter. Go back into Street Fighter now, and with these principles, apply these same principles of staying grounded, you will see massive improvement. That's actually funny enough. I played Street Fighter for 3 weeks straight without touching Smash, and then I went to my first Smash tournament after that, and I top 8'd like a 60-man event, and it was
Did
literally.
it improve, like your Smash? Like,
Oh,
just
yeah.
straight away.
Oh yeah, because like fighting game like fundamentals, they carry over, and especially like the principles of staying out of the air in Street Fighter are super important. And so it's like there are some characters that like are so good at approaching like from the air, but like in Street Fighter, the whole thing is staying on the ground and getting your advantage state. And so like it teaches you in Smash, especially like with a character like Banjo, you have to stay grounded or else like you're not gonna succeed.
Yeah.
Oh, what? That was a regrab. How did that not hit?
I have no idea. I honestly thought I was dead there, but you know.
Banjo sucks. He does not suck. Don't listen to that propaganda.
Honestly, I feel like people rate Banjo lower than it should be.
Oh,
Like, I understand why why people think that he's so bad, but at the same time, he has so many like just things that can invalidate a ton of matchups.
oh yeah, like, and he has like relevant good matchups too. Like I will die saying that he beats Sonic. Like I have so many good Sonic wins. I'm not gonna like play that off. Like the top Banjo doesn't think that, but he also doesn't think like he basically thinks it's even. So it's like, okay, I know what I'm talking about to a degree, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's something that messes me up, like the fact that Nairs, depending on like where you hit it, it sends you behind me, and I can never quite like get it right, you know, like which way it's gonna send you. To get a grab
Yeah.
or something.
He's like Banjo is just he's a solid mid tier. That's what he is. He's a solid mid tier. Like if he was in high tier, he'd be literally the last person in high tier. But he's just a solid character.
I should have picked that up with like up air or something.
I wish up air comboed. Like you saw
That'd be nice.
you saw me do the grenade down throw into up air, which is a true combo. But it's just like it shouldn't be that difficult to get a true combo out of up air, you know? So I could have gone for a Wonder Wing there, but the thing is, Wonder Wing has so much end lag, and at lower percents, like you can punish me for it. So I just went for that guaranteed damage instead of trying to get the big hard punish, you know?
Yeah, I definitely fall into that trap a lot when using Wonder Wing. Like I just use it at too low percent where it's not really worth it, and they can get a punish out of it.
Yeah. Oh, I dropped it because I'm bad.
Whoops. I thought I'd be on the ground.
Nice, good punish, good reaction.
No!
So that's a good way of covering a lot of options, is threatening forward air and then throwing up tilt out, because forward air will cover the horizontal and up tilt will cover the vertical. And so like I saw you would spam options on platforms, but it's just like that's good because it will cover all options, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. So our time is up. Do you have any final questions, concerns, comments, jokes, anything?
That was a great session.
Awesome. Yeah, and like I said, you feel like you got what you were looking for?
Yeah, definitely. It like as well as banjo, you just kind of showed me like the things I need to work on just as a whole. So
Awesome. I'm super glad to hear that. And at any time, feel free on Discord. If you have a simple question or anything, reach out to me. Happy to answer it. And keep me updated on your progress. I do like to know how people's progress is going.
yeah, will do.
And I would recommend booking at least one more session just for the pure purpose of checking in, seeing where you're at,
Yeah, I
hitting
was
those
thinking
milestones.
that. Yeah.
And if you do leave a video review, it will give you a coupon code off your next session. So,
Awesome.
Yep.
Will do.
awesome. Well, thank you for booking, Chip. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Yep, you too.
Have a good one. Bye.
All right, see ya.
Alrighty, guys. Bye.